Next, we'll start doing the seat ring, which is a circle with a hole in it. The hole is a diameter of 4 inch, so it makes a donut, and there's two rectangles on top that stick up 0.81. The thickness of the donut is 2, and these are 1 inch apart. Okay, and then since this is going to sit right on it, I have to make the hole that the pin goes through in the same place. So I'll use this same dimension and I'll bring it up the same amount. Okay, so that my two drawings will match. So that's what I'm going to sort of work on here. So here's my new drawing. File, save as. Seat ring 4 inch. And again, I already made one that's in a 3D. So I'm going to make my 2D version of it. I'm going to need a whole bunch of layers. So let me go get all of my layers and put them into my new drawing. Remember, I'm getting these from my exemplar. And they're all in there. And it says to make a new one called Seatring. So here's my new one. Seatring. Blue. And it's asking me to do that as 0.014. Now, I think that's a little light, but later on I'll show you how we can change those if they get marked up that way. So here's my seat ring drawing. There's a circle that is a diameter 6 inch, so I'm using the circle command. It's asking for a radius, so I want a diameter. A radius is halfway across, a diameter is all the way across. So I'm going to type D, enter for diameter, 8. Sorry, 6. Let me get it right. And then the inside, starting from the center, is D, enter 4. That's what it kind of what it looks like. And now I'm going to go back to my construction lines again. I'm going to find that center and I'm going to come down. And those blocks are spread apart 1 inch. So that's going to be 1/2 inch one way, 1/2 inch the other way. That's an offset command of 0.5. And I'm going to go that way and that way. And I don't really know how big those blocks are, but I'm going to try to see if it works if they're a 1/2 inch block. So here I come back to my seat ring and I can go 0.5 by 0.5. Here's the trick to getting it in there somewhat correctly. I'm going to take this corner and put it right there. And then I can move it upward till that corner hits the seat ring. And I can either do the mirror command or the copy command. I'll do a mirror command. Mirror that item about that line. Keep them. And again, once I'm done, I can turn off my construction lines for the moment. So that is what the seat ring looks like from the top. Now, in reality, this is a much more complicated part, but this is good for preliminary modeling and design. So let's go back to our construction lines. And I know that I'm going to have to, I want to be on my construction lines. Go. So my seat ring is going to project over to there. That's going to be the top of the seat ring, and it was 2 inches thick. Now we do want to show that there's a hole going through there, but I don't see it for real because it's being blocked by the outside. So I take it over and draw hidden lines. I have my tracking on. There we go. That is so cool. Now, I need to be able to draw these things, and I don't know exactly where they are. So again, I need to draw some construction lines, say that those little pokey up parts lie along those lines. That's my orthographics. And they set 0.81 up. Oops, I did those on the construction layer. Do those on the seat ring layer. And I need to trim away what I don't want. I don't need that part or that part. There we go. My blue stuff and these hidden lines look right. Let me turn off construction. Everything is looking good. Now, I recalled from the last one that I needed some center lines. So let me go back to that annotate thing and see if I can put in a center line. Cool. I got it. That is so awesome. Okay. So I have my part drawn. That's what it looks like. There's my top view and my right side view. What it's going to look like. So now I'm ready to go to my layouts and put in my mechanical B size. Yep. And delete my other ones, just like we did in week 4. I'm ready to put in some of that extra stuff like my general notes. And my revisions title and my revisions items. And I also remember that I need a layout, viewport. I'm going to make it pretty big because I don't know how big this is going to need to be. And I'll scale it 1 to 1. There we go. It looks like it's pretty well set in there. Move it over a little bit more. There we go. And lock it. I think I forgot to lock it in my last example. So this one, I'm going to mix dim styles. Some of them are going to be fractional, and some of them will be 3 decimal places. And you'll learn in other classes what all that means. But it sort of goes to saying, if I'm at a fraction, my dimension is good to what's or minus a 16th. 3 decimal places, somebody would have to tell me. You don't have to worry about that right now too much. But here we go. I'm going to go onto my dim text layer. I'm going to go to my dim styles and I'm going to pull in fractional and 2 places. Okay, so let me start with my fractional one. And I'm going to do this inside diameter. There we go. There's a fractional on that. Okay, my next one, my outside diameter, I'm also going to leave as fractional. Now I have a couple of choices where to put this. I'm going to put it so that it's nicely in line with that. That puts those nicely in line. Now I'm going to go back and do that center mark thing again. Now I'm going to do a linear dimension. And it's interesting. I'm going to go from the center to one corner. Oops, but I don't want it to be fractional. Now I'm going to be that 2 decimal place thing. And then from one end to the other. And now I'm back to fractional again. You go back and forth. Not too hard to do. Actually, I'm going to put this one somewhere else. I like to do those in spots where it's kind of clear. You try to keep stuff outside of the part if you can, and you want to avoid running over things. And this one, watch, this is going to be another cool thing. This dimension also counts over here. That's called a typical dimension. So if I double click and go to the end, space and capitals TYP, or typical, half inch typical. And then I can go upward the same one. Space, typical. So that gives me some nice work done on those dimensions. Okay, now I don't know how far away they sit. So I need a dimension there. And again, this is going to be from my quadrant. Two and 3/8. And that's called centerline dimensioning. So I think I've got things pretty well done. So now let me get this side over here. I'm going to go back to my 2 decimal places and get a couple more dimensions. Of course, we need this across the bottom. And I want things to line up if I can. So I want them to line up. You know, I set it and then I ran over here for its placement. And then from the corner to here. And again, they need to line up on top of each other. But they look really nice. Everything's all in a line. There we go. That's got my dimensions on it now. That is, oh, let's go ahead and do a save. Yes, we always need to save this. Do a print preview just really quickly to make sure that everything's on the correct layers and looking right. It looks pretty good. I think that's a good little drawing for us. Okay, so that's your mechanical option for the seat ring.